Hey, what is going on, Frag fam? I hope you guys are all doing well today. Elliot here, and welcome back to the Fragrance Well. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about some of my most liked fragrances that I have in my entire collection. I'm referencing this to the rating scale system on Fragrantica. I'm pretty sure most of you guys are familiar with Fragrantica.com and the rating scale they have for every fragrance, where basically like rate it from 1 to 5. 1 being I hate it, 2 being I don't really like it, 3 being the fragrance is just okay, 4 being I really like it, 5 being I absolutely love it. So I'm basically calling these my 4 out of 5 fragrances that I have in my collection, 10 of them if you will, 10 fragrances that I really like in my collection. Now look, I got plenty of fragrances that I could put on this list, and it would probably take me half a day to just really sift through the entire collection and choose the top 10. So I'm just gonna pick 10, or should I say I just picked 10, kind of 10 random ones that I thought would be good for the video. Another order of business to address is this video does mark me reaching 7,000 subscribers here on YouTube. I appreciate you guys for all of the support. I've never really done like a subscriber milestone video, but I'm gonna start doing it because why not? Also, this event is synonymous with me giving away my bottle of Naxos. I got it right here. I know a lot of you guys have been looking forward to that. As I said on my community post, once we reach 7,000 subscribers, I'll just give away my bottle of Naxos. I know a lot of you guys are interested in that. You will get this bottle here. You will get the full presentation. Like, here's the whole box. I got all of it right here. So you'll get the full presentation as a winner of the giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video. I'll let you know what to do to be entered into that giveaway. All right, so let's get right into it. Before we do, as always, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you do like the content, and please hit that bell icon. Enable notifications so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. All right, guys, we're gonna kick it off with one from Creed. This is gonna be Aventus. Creed Aventus. That's right, Creed Aventus at this point in time in my collection journey is a strong like. Now listen, I always appreciate this DNA. I always want this DNA in my collection, but it's not quite a love. Just in case you're unfamiliar by chance, which it is possible, this is a woody, fruity, fresh fragrance. The fruity aspect of it is mostly this pineapple note, this infamous pineapple note. The woodiness is kind of a combination of like a cedar wood combo. There also is quite a bit of fresh characteristic to this scent. You know, it's probably the most influential fragrance ever to come out on the fragrance market. At least to date it is. I mean, I don't know how many clones and inspired by fragrances there is of this scent, and they keep coming, which is crazy to me. You would think they'd stop, but they don't. All that being said, the only reason that this is a like for me and is not a love, and at one point I think it was a love, but the reason is I have come across scent DNAs that you could say are similar enough to this that I simply like more. If you guys have watched my content for any period of time, you know my second most favorite fragrance out of my entire collection is actually Nashane Hasavat. Now, I do think Hasavat is something that took some inspiration from this, but I don't think it really smells like it. It really wears completely differently, in my opinion. But I like that over Aventus. If I were going to have only one fragrance that smelled anything close, just even remotely close to something like Aventus, I'm gonna choose Hasavat, and I definitely wear it way more. Like, that bottle's half empty. This one's got a good little dent in it, but it's nowhere near half gone. So that's really the only reason that this is a like for me. There's just styles of this scent DNA that I like better. It's that simple. Once again, from Creed, this is Aventus. All right, guys, next one's gonna be coming from Algabra Parfums, and this is gonna be Eye of Seven Hills. Algabra, Eye of Seven Hills. Now, this fragrance here is well regarded in terms of people who are familiar with Algabra fragrances. Now, I've only smelled a handful of them, so I can't say it's one of the better ones or not, but this is a like for me. I wouldn't even really call it a strong like. I would call it a like. What is the scent, by the way? Anybody familiar with Initio Side Effect? This fragrance is kind of a cousin to it, maybe an elevated version of it. I thought I had a sample of Side Effect. I guess I got rid of it a while ago, so I can't AB them right now. But it is definitely a similar style. It's boozy, it's sweet, it's got some spiciness to it, and there's also tobacco. This one I would say is elevated because I actually don't mind this one over Side Effect, where Side Effect, I would say that's an okay fragrance. It's just kind of boring to me. I'm never a big Side Effect fan, but I do appreciate this one more, but I don't love it. If I'm being completely honest. And in fact, it was a blind buy. I wouldn't say it was a failed blind buy. It's a solid blind buy. I have worn it a number of times. I do enjoy the wearing experience, but I think these kind of sweet, spicy tobacco fragrances that are done in this style are just not really my thing. I just don't really gravitate towards them like that. So I would say at best, they're going to be fragrances that I like. And I guess that's what this is. That pretty much sums up why this one is in the like category. So once again from Algabra, this is Eye of Seven Hills. All right, we're gonna move on to one coming from Guerlain. This one is L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum. Guerlain, L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum. Now, this one, yes, definitely a like for me. The Idéal DNA overall is a like at best, in my opinion. Now, I will say out of the Idéals I have so far, this one is my favorite one by far. It's not even close. I got the EDT, I got the extreme version, and I've got this one. And this one, I think, comes together really nicely. You got this kind of gourmand, nutty sweetness facet in here. It's woody as well. It's a little bit fruity also. Smells really good in the air. I mean, I can't deny it. Matter of fact, my bandmate, he got a bottle of this maybe 6 or 7 months ago or something like that. I can't remember. But he was wearing it the other day and I smelled it immediately on him. And I said, "You're wearing the Guerlain, aren't you?" He said, "Yes." And I have to admit, I'm like, yo, I really like how that smells. But it's not really a love for me. It's not one that I am like kicking down doors to wear. And that's probably the only reason. And again, I think the DNA is awesome, but it's just not something I love. It's not a favorite of mine like it is for many other people. Now, I will say, there's a lot of other L'Homme Idéal fragrances that I have not smelled and I need to get my nose on. I really want to smell, L'Instinct. I don't remember what, the described characteristics of that one are, but I remember finding it very interesting. So I need to give myself a sample of that. You never know, I may come across a version of this that I actually love. We'll see. But it would have to be better than this at this point. And I think this is pretty darn good, but it is simply a like for me. So once again, from Guerlain, this is L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum. All right, next one's going to be coming from Mancera, and this is Intense Cedrat Boise. Mancera Intense Cedrat Boise. All right, this may be my scent of the evening. We'll see. I just think what I got going on this evening and the associated temperature and humidity, this might be a decent wear for tonight, but that's neither here nor there. What is this scent? The intense version of the very famous Cedrat Boise, which is basically a clean, citrus, woody fragrance that has a good amount of like fruity sweetness to it. This one, same thing. It's just maybe ramped up a little bit, probably a little bit richer. Overall, not quite as bright. The citruses are probably a little bit darker than the original Cedrat. There is some leathery characteristics in there as well. Overall, it's a solid fragrance. I mean, I can't deny that I enjoy wearing this every time I wear it. In fact, it's even got a little tiny dent in it. But yeah, this is a DNA I don't overly love. Matter of fact, when I first sampled Mancera, and this was right when I was getting ready to start my collection, I got a Mancera sample kit and it had Cedrat Boise, Red Tobacco, Hindu Kush, and a lot of the heavy hitters from the house at the time. And I didn't really care for the original Cedrat Boise, or at least didn't feel like I needed to buy it. I was like, it's okay, but I don't feel like I need it. Now this I ultimately blind bought. I just kind of grabbed it. I figured, maybe I'll like this better than the original Cedrat. And honestly, I do, but it's still not a love. But this is a solid fragrance. I mean, I can't deny it. Anytime I've worn it, I definitely enjoy it. It's just one I don't think about that often. If I think about it, or should I say if I choose to wear it, it's usually because I just happen to look at the bottle in my cabinet and I'm like, that could work for this evening or work for today or whatever. And that's kind of why it's on the short list for my scent of the evening for today. So once again from Mancera, this is Intense Cedrat Boise. All right, guys, next one's going to be coming from Amouage. This is Enclave. Amouage Enclave. And this is definitely a like in my fragrance cabinet. Now, I've got 12 Amouages. As far as I know, that's still the most owned house that I have at this point. And I did do a rating of them a while back. I wonder if I do another one today and don't reference that one, would I rearrange them a little bit? But I do remember this one being a little bit more towards the bottom. Anyway, this is a minty, kind of a spicy, minty fragrance, lightly spicy that is. with this really interesting kind of slightly smoky but also creamy, sweet, resinous, woody facet to it. I imagine there's probably something like vetiver in here as well to kind of make up those base notes. The fragrance smells clean. It's not a simple mint fragrance by any stretch of the imagination, and ultimately I do enjoy wearing it, but it's not something I reach for a whole lot. And why is that? I guess it just doesn't reel me in like a number of my other fragrances do out of my entire collection, not to mention just other homages. Enclave is one of those ones I almost feel like I wear because I haven't worn it in a while, which already tells me that that's definitely not a love. You can't really say you love a fragrance if it's something you don't reach for that often, unless it's just something completely artistic that maybe is a little bit more difficult to wear. I would say that's the only caveat for that scenario, but this fragrance is not that. This is not some super artistic fragrance. It's a really nice, fresh, creamy, resinous, sweet, mint-based fragrance, and it's something you could easily wear just about every day. So I wouldn't call this an artistic scent. So because I don't reach for it that often, I think it's fair to say that this is a good, strong like for me. But I mean, it's a solid homage scent. I love homage fragrances overall, but that doesn't mean they're always my favorite. So once again, from homage, this is Enclave. All right, guys, next one's going to be coming from Emporio Armani, and this is Stronger With You, Absolutely. Emporio Armani, Stronger With You, Absolutely. All right, so this is a relatively gourmand light, if you will, sweet, rich, slightly spicy fragrance. I mean, it smells really good, I'm not going to lie. Overall, I think the Stronger With You DNA is a solid scent DNA. Now, this was actually a blind buy for me, and let me tell you, I am glad I got this one over Intensely. Since the Emporio Armani Stronger With You fragrances have become available, I guess, again, on your standard fragrance counter in your regular department stores, I've been able to get my nose on a few of them, and including Intensely. And I gotta say, Intensely, that would have been a huge regret, because that one's just ridiculously sweet over this one. This one's a lot more balanced, in my opinion. So I really like this one over that one. I also like the slight chocolatey facet of this, and there's some of the gourmand characteristics is like this kind of candied nuttiness that is in there. So this is a well done fragrance. Similar to the L'Homme Ideal line, I don't necessarily love it, but to be fair, I smelled even less from the Stronger With You line compared to the L'Homme Ideal line in terms of the flankers. So I know there's many different variations out there, and also I did get my nose on the Parfum. I like that one. I think I'm going to pick it up, but I haven't really seen that one widely available as of yet, so that might be a purchase down the road. So once again, from Emporio Armani, this is Stronger With You, Absolutely. Okay, this next one's going to be coming from Orto Parisi. This is Megamare. Orto Parisi Megamare. Okay, so this fragrance here is basically a fresh, slightly soapy aquatic that's very, very musky. That's the simplest way to break it down. It does kind of have this slight artificial fruit smell. I think there's a lot of cologne used in here. At least that's the general consensus with a lot of people. And if you look up what cologne smells like, it basically gives off aquatic features with this slight fruity nature to it. Some people like to say it kind of resembles like a fake watermelon. I don't know if I'd quite say that, but I get this sentiment. Anyway, that's pretty much what the fragrance smells like. Now, this fragrance is not famous for that. It's famous for how powerful it is. This is a nuclear fragrance that you literally can spray 1 to 2 times, and you could fill up a room with just those 2 sprays. It's an immensely powerful scent, and that is exactly why it is something that people know about. It's not because of the smell. Now, that being said, the smell is good. The smell is compliment garnering. It is a positive attention grabbing smelling scent. So, you know, I'm not knocking it. I don't think it smells bad. But if we're talking about what would make this fragrance a notable one for a lot of people, it ain't the smell, it's the power of it. It's a relatively simple smelling fragrance. It smells okay. But for me, it's a like. I like Orto Parisi fragrances. I like the use of chemicals to present fragrances in a very strong and powerful way. I'm not a big performance guy, so I'm not all that impressed by how strong this fragrance is. That being said, I definitely notice it because I'm kind of blown away by how powerful it is. But yeah, it's just a like for me, and that's pretty much why. So once again, from Orto Parisi, this is Megamare. All right, guys, next one's going to be coming from Roja Parfums, and this is Elysium Parfum. Roja Parfums Elysium Parfum. All right, so this used to be a love for me, but then I got more fragrances in general, and it kind of became a like. This fragrance is a slightly fresh, kind of dark fruity, if that makes sense. And by dark fruity, I mean it's not like poppy, it's not zingy, it's not bright. It's just more or less noticeable scent with some aromatic touches to it that makes it smell relatively clean. It's got some clean woodiness to it, maybe a drop of spice kind of hiding in there. There's probably some musky elements as well. As you guys know with Roja fragrances, there's a million notes listed, so there's a lot of things you could potentially pick up on, but you're never going to smell every single thing. That's just not the way fragrances work. But overall, this basically smells like, and this is the consensus for it, a very high-end blue fragrance. You can use it for anything, and that is what I appreciate about the scent. It's just kind of fallen by the wayside in terms of, if I'm really being honest, really just in terms of what Roja has to offer in terms of all of their fragrances. Well done, but I've got plenty of Roja fragrances at this point that I would reach for any day over Elysium, especially ones that might be considered good for warm weather. That being said, I think this one is also on the short list for my scent of the evening. If I don't want something quite as sweet and as bright as Intense Cedrat Boise, I might go for this. As a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really think I want anything that's really overpowering. I want something that'll kind of just fill my space up nicely. So this may be on the shorter list for scent of the evening. But all that being said, great fragrance. I'm not knocking it at all, but it is simply a like for me. So once again, from Roja Parfums, this is Elysium Parfum. All right, next one's going to be coming from Tom Ford, and this is Oud Wood. Tom Ford, Oud Wood. You guys know Oud Wood. It's definitely one of the most well-known fragrances on the market. Probably still the most popular from Tom Ford. Warm, inviting spices here. A very westernized oud, so it's easy to digest. It's clean. That's assuming there is even real oud in here. That's always kind of been a debate, but you never really know. But there's definitely some cypriol in here, kind of driving that slightly oriental feel that this fragrance has. Certainly some dried woods, a little bit of amberiness. It's just a touch sweet as well. I mean, the scent still works great for what it is. I mean, it's still, I think, one of the best fragrance DNAs to be palatable to people all over the planet, presented in a spicy, woody way. And this fragrance here introduced me to a higher quality of fragrances that I just didn't know existed. It kind of pulled me into the world of collecting, even though I wasn't collecting when I bought this. So the only reason that this is a like is I have a fragrance that you could basically say is a glorified clone of this. And when I say glorified clone, I mean it kind of took inspiration from this but elevated it to another level, and that is going to be Thamine's Carved Oud, which I do have in my cabinet. That fragrance, 100%, you smell it, you're going to think of Oud Wood, but once you kind of digest the scent and get used to it, you see there are quite a few features that are not present in Oud Wood that does separate it from it, but at the end of the day, it still wears like Oud Wood does, just at an elevated level. But if I want Oud Wood DNA or any type of DNA on my skin, I'm going to reach for that at least 8 times out of 10 over Oud Wood. If I reach for Oud Wood, it's just because, okay, I just want the original, but I like that Carved Oud better. So naturally, for me, that makes this a like. So that's why it's on this video. So once again, from Tom Ford, this is Oud Wood. All right, and to wrap this video up, we got one from Dior. This is Sauvage Elixir. Dior Sauvage Elixir. Man, when was the last time I talked about this? It has to have been over a year. This fragrance here, all right, so let me tell the story here. Let's just be honest. When I first smelled this, it was right around the beginning of me collecting. I was blown away by it. I mean, I could not believe how good this smelled to me at the time. And don't get me wrong, I still think it smells good. This is a very spicy, I would say predominantly cinnamon and nutmeg type of spice. Loads of lavender in this. Does kind of have a little bit of a shaving cream kind of smell to it. It's relatively masculine. Also has a little bit of an old school feel to it as well. And you got woodiness to it, loads of ambroxan. Also, it's a very powerful fragrance, long lasting scent, yada, yada, yada. It behaves very much like Sauvage fragrance does, but kind of takes away the modern smell just a little bit, puts a little bit of a vintage smell into it. Again, I love this when I first got it. The only reason it is now alike is number one, I definitely don't reach for it very much anymore. And number two, when it comes to spicy, woody fragrances or even just lavender in general, I've got fragrances that are just simply far superior to this, especially for the value of it. We all know how much this cost at the time. I don't know if the cost has gone up on this, but I imagine it has because everything's going up. But that was before the price hikes really started to happen with a lot of these brands due to, inflation or supply shortages and all that whole jazz that kind of happened around COVID, which is when this fragrance was released. It was in the midst of that. But yeah, that's the simple reason as to why this is now alike. I just have things that I find far more interesting at this point, which can happen to anybody with any fragrance in their collection. So once again, from Dior, this is Sauvage Elixir. Alright guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. Let's go ahead and get to the part that I know a lot of you have been waiting for. You want to win the giveaway of Xerjoff's Naxos. To be entered into the giveaway, you do need to leave a comment in this video. I just want you to simply tell me what is a fragrance you like in your fragrance collection and why it just is not a love. Just let me know why. It could be any fragrance. It doesn't matter what it is. And also you need to be subscribed to the channel, obviously, and I need to see that you are subscribed. You need to be publicly subscribed. If you don't know how to do that, please Google it. It's very easy to do. So best of luck to you guys on the giveaway. I will choose a winner in about a week, which is what I did last time. I want to give people time to watch the video as well as, actually participate in the giveaway, because not everybody can watch my videos right away. Thanks again for watching all the way into the end. I really do appreciate you all. Please remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.